Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
Hi, hey, we made it on there.
We
We
did.
are on there, right?
Yes, we are. How you doing
We're
today, Kim?
live.
We are live
Yes,
on the
hot mics
hot mics on the book face. Somebody called it the other
on the
day
book face.
instead of
I
Facebook.
like that.
They said we are on book face, and I said I like it. Book face it is.
Yes.
I'm just doing a little bit of sharing right now. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Daryl. Of course, we have the beautiful Kim Steinbrick, and we have a special guest today. If you live in Rankin County, you've probably seen this guy standing on the road, because I will say I've never seen, except for when we were working some campaigns in the past, somebody that dedicated on the side of the road.
There you
That's the
go.
way you got to do it too.
Yes. You got to bring it. You got to bring it hard. I mean, it's like it's one of those now or nevers. I think we preached it before to other people. It's like this is the time. Time is now.
It is. Phil
You gotta do it
Schoggen,
now.
how you doing today, sir?
Doing well. Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and get started. Rankin County has a runoff coming up on December 2nd, which is a week from tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yes, mark your calendars. It's right down there so you don't forget, right at the bottom of your screen there.
Yep, that's going to be December 2nd. I know it's weird voting for somebody in December, so that's why we keep pounding it upon people. But correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, there's also one more absentee day. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, actually, the rest of the week, you can vote absentee.
Until.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday, they will be closed, but Saturday, they'll be open from 8 to noon. So you can go vote absentee Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday from 8 to noon.
That's what I thought. And it's so important, you guys, on these smaller elections that we talk about this every week. I talk about it on the morning show as well as I did today. But people talk about situational issues they have. I know you know about it, Phil, because I'm sure they've been letting you know. But they have situational issues. That's why it's important to vote local, because these are real issues that happen in your real backyard in that district, which happens to be the largest district in Rankin County. Lots of neighborhoods, right?
Yeah, definitely is. And that's one thing in going door to door with people. I've been getting a lot of, hey, I only vote in national or governor elections. And I'm like, well, this right here, this is the election that can really affect you immediately and your future the most.
Exactly, because these are the things like, I mean, even if it wasn't supervisor, but even if it was whatever other judge, we have a couple of judge races coming up. That's super important, because these are things that affect you local.
As close as you can. I mean, and I've
Right.
pushed it as well. The presidential and the federal elections, they are very important
Sure.
and can affect our lives. But to me, the closer to yourself, elections hit the hardest on you, because they are the ones that pick on a daily basis on your taxes in your cities, on your on your roads, on just
Property, all kind of stuff.
everything. And so you really want to be educated in your vote. You want to go out and ask questions. Like you just said, he's been standing on the side of the road holding signs. Perfect time to ask questions, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. So I mean, and don't be scared. Like I'm a shy person, but I will say this: if I want to ask a question, if something's very important to me, I want to know what you're going to do about this, I'm going to ask. And so just do it.
I think you used to be a shy person.
I used to be a shy. This has kind of broken me out of my shell just a little bit.
And then Kim and I also did a radio show together for about a year before this. So
yes.
she kind of came out of her bubble. So
just a little bit.
So what desire and why did you choose to run for District 2 Supervisor in Rankin County, being that I'm very familiar with it? I do not live in that district, but I'm very familiar with it and used to live in Castle Woods, which is that district as well. Right. And these neighborhoods are big. What made you want to do it, Phil?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always had an interest in local politics.
Yes, sir.
And so, in District 2 over there, we have the least incorporated area out of any of the districts in Rankin County. So we've got a little bit that's in Flowood, and that's pretty much it. The rest of it is all unincorporated area. So, having an interest in local politics, there's no mayor, there's no alderman, there's nothing like that I could, serve as a role in. So a couple years ago, kind of thought of the idea, and then I knew Scott Berry was running, so I decided not to run last time. And, I was kind of under the impression Scott was going to run for 2 terms. So I really thought this was about 7 years off from where it fell. But when Scott resigned to go take his position, I just really started praying about it. Me and my wife started talking about it. I had to talk with my business partner about it, and, just started trying to figure out what I was supposed to do and where I felt called to go. So through several friends that didn't know that I was thinking about doing this, mentioning it to me, I felt like the Lord was speaking to me, and that, this was what I was supposed to go do. So that's kind of how we got to the decision to run and do this. But it's just mainly just to serve and give back and help make District 2 the best place it can be. I mean, I moved here because of the high quality of life and all the amenities we have, and I just want to make sure that we continue to improve on that for future generations.
Man, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a great answer, because that is hopefully the reason everyone wants to run, is to make where they are better.
Right. And where are you from originally?
So I grew up in Clinton.
Right.
Spent my whole childhood, graduated from Clinton High School, then went to Mississippi State University. I know, Daryl, sorry. Went to Mississippi State University.
Know a lot of great people
and
to Mississippi State.
Graduated from there with a degree in construction land development. And once I graduated, I moved home for a year trying to figure out where I was going to go. And, then I found a place at the reservoir and bought a house. Next month, bought a boat, and it's home. It's where all my roots are. And I've been there for next July will be 20 years.
All right.
Wow.
So you basically spent your adult life there pretty much.
Yes, sir. Yes,
after school stuff.
Yes, sir.
Makes sense. Well, I know that being that I've been a part of that district my whole life, even though I don't live there right now, but I have lived over there for a long time in the past. It's a great place to be. It is a great place to be. And a lot of the reason is because the people, obviously, the people over there are very, very, just really good Rankin County folks. But I know, and I'm sure you have, as well, you've been there 20 years and now you're running for supervisor too. I'm sure they've been going, well, Phil, what are you going to do with so-and-so? What you going to do with this bridge? Or what are you going to do with infrastructure to generate more income, all that kind of stuff? What's your first thing that you think that you should hit the ground running on over there?
There's not a particular project right now that, it's like, hey, I want to go do this. Because
economic development was the word I was thinking of.
Right. It's more or less, yes, I've talked with some of the past supervisors on projects that are upcoming and things they've started design phases of and looking at, and I don't know how much of that is public, right. So not going to get that far into it. But I think my biggest thing is that I want to do, if elected, is be transparent with the people, communicate with them, let them know what's going on, how it's going to affect them, whether it be their tax base or their quality of life. So that's some of the biggest things that I want to get going. But one of my biggest long terms is infrastructure and drainage. In District 2, we have several drainage issues, from Mill Creek to Castle Woods, even some over off of Hugh Ward, and then out off of North Shore and Church Road. We've got drainage problems out there. So we've got to look and see what can be done, from a legal standpoint to try and mediate those. But outside of maintaining or correcting existing issues, we got to make sure that when we're doing future developments, we're addressing drainage issues to make sure that all the proper drainage things are in place and that the contractors, put them in per plans to make sure that we can maintain, good waterways, not flood our neighbors, and just continue to maintain a high quality of life.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's great. And one of the, well, actually not one of, but the first thing you said is the most important thing for Kim and I can speak for her on this, is transparency.
Amen. And it's one of the biggest things, because
Yeah.
that establishes trust, in my opinion. When I can trust you, then I know, even if I don't know what direction you're going, if I feel as if I can trust you, that whatever you're doing, I know you're probably going to do it right. I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah.
So
And
it's very important.
And that's so important in our whole country,
Right?
not just Rankin County, not just wherever. So because when we were growing up, all three of us, we lived in a different country then, obviously. It's grown exponentially, blah, blah, blah. Not going to get all into politics, but just generally speaking, it's completely different now. And the thing that most people have in common out in Rankin County, because I talk to them all the time, and those are people that live either in District 2 or 3. And the most is transparency. That's what they all want. They want to be able to pick the phone up. They want somebody to be transparent with them about whatever the project is they're working on. And look, and if it's bad news, they just want you to tell them the bad news.
Mm-hmm.
You understand
100%.
what I mean? I know you do.
Yeah. It's, just like in our business, we tell our guys all the time, we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. But when you make that mistake, the mistake being the bad news you just referred to, you go and you let the client know so that you can, be
honest,
proactive instead of reactive.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's everything in us. That's huge in a supervisor position, which is an elected position. And the runoff now is between you and Daryl Palmer, which I'm going to have Daryl Palmer on as well before the election next week. But it started out with a whole lot of folks running in that particular district too. It was a big ticket.
I think it was like 7, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
it was 7.
But that's okay, and good for all of them. Great that people actually. But this also is a special election because of a seat coming open. Correct.
Yep.
So that's why it's at a different time of the year. I mean, different time of the years.
Right.
Plural. So yeah, but it really blew up over in Rankin County. I was like, wow, so many people, but most of those guys, right? Or
yeah, so I knew a couple of them going into it.
Yeah.
But I had the chance throughout the campaign to meet all of them. And I think, everybody, had the best interest of the county at heart. It was just all different ways of getting things accomplished. But no, it was actually a good race. My wife actually made the comment to me when we started running. She's like, I mean, do you think this race is going to get dirty? And I was like, well, I mean, it's a county supervisor race. I hope not, but
you never know.
No, everybody wanted, the best for the community at the end of it. We all just had different ideas and ways we wanted to go about it. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed getting to meet a lot of those people and have talked to a lot of them since then, and not necessarily just about politics, but, there's several other business owners and things. And so just talking business and, making those connections.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a supervisor or not, if you're a business person, which I know you are, just like those other guys in this particular race were and are, you just talk about business with them anyway, because it's just life. But when you mentioned your wife, so you're married with kids?
Yep. So I've been, me and Miranda have been married 10 years this year. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary in June, and we've got a 3-year-old Finn. So he's our little blessing.
I like the name, Finn.
It's actually FEN. So I'm a big Red Sox fan. So Fenway.
Yeah, got it. Wow, that's cool.
My wife is another funny story. So she's actually an Ole Miss grad.
Okay.
And she's the one that came to me and said, "What do you think about naming him Finn?" And I was like, I was thinking, Finn's up. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then she related it back to the Red Sox. And I was like, oh, okay. I can get on board with that.
I mean, I hated that Finn's up deal with Ole Miss because it was just, I'm so glad it's over with. That Finn Nation still tries to come on there. And I just look at it and go, oh. But anyway, whole nother
Black
story.
Bears at some point, right?
Oh, yeah. I knew that wouldn't work, but yes.
No.
But we do have some great schools. Speaking of schools, this is one of her big time favorite things to talk about.
Education.
And in your district, being the size it is a lot of schools.
Yeah. I mean, so we've got, of course, Northwest Rankin and all those schools that go with it. You've got Jackson Prep. A lot of people in our district live in District 2, but go to Jackson Prep. You got Hartfield Academy, which I was there Saturday night because they were going for their three-peat, but a lot of residents of District 2 go to Hartfield. And then you also got Pisgah. There's a lot of residents that also go to Pisgah because of our geographic area that we live in.
Yeah, that's a lot of big schools.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the Hartfield game the other night on YouTube. So,
right.
But anyway, yes, that's a lot of schools. And for the most part, in my opinion, Rankin County in that particular district has done pretty good with the schools. We do unfortunately live in a world we have to worry about safety, and it's done pretty good out that way. And I'm proud of that. Anywhere that does like that, Pearl has too. But out that way, so far, it's been really good on safety issues. And I feel safe when I'm out in that district, and that's going to be important, obviously, if you roll into this position,
Yeah. And it's just not police,
No,
we've got a little bit of my districts in Flowwood, like I said. So you got Flowwood police, you got reservoir police, and then also you got reservoir fire. And then outside of reservoir fire, you got the Flowwood Fire Department that also still covers some. And then, you've got a lot of volunteer fire departments that cover some of the different areas out there. Mm-hmm. So, we've got to make sure that we're supporting all those with, millage increases when needed, long as they're utilizing all their tax dollars that they're currently getting to the best manner. Long as that happens, we need to make sure that we uphold, a high quality of life through strong fire and strong police.
Yes, because that is very important. Like you said, safety is very important, and knowing that there's going to be somebody coming to you if you call and you dial 911, because you're in your weakest moment at that point, and you're very panicked most of the time, and just knowing that there's going to be someone show up and response time is low and they can just get to you quickly. So you said a lot of your area is unincorporated.
That's correct.
So as far as that, is there any kind of, is it mostly like industrial, or is there residential in that area, or small?
No, we're mainly residential.
Okay, mainly.
We've got a lot of housetops, and it ranges anywhere from houses that were built in the 60s to, current houses now. So with that also goes back to infrastructure of, we got some really old infrastructure, that is going on 60 plus years old. And then we've got some new infrastructure too. So, we just got to make sure that we're taking care of it.
Yeah. So that's what I was wondering too. So with it being residential, if something were to happen, like response times out in rural areas, I know can be a little more difficult because it's a little harder to get there, but are the response times where you think that they need to be in those areas? Yeah.
I think, the main one, far as fire that we have in our area is going to be reservoir fire. Because the only, neighborhoods that we have that are in Flowwood are Manship, Lineage Lakes, Latter Rain, and and then a little bit off of I'm forgetting the name right now, but just right over there, there's a little bit of Flowwood there. And Flowwood does a good job of taking care of those. But in ours, Reservoir Fire, with the 3 stations that they have, they do a real good job of getting to things quickly. Actually ran into that a couple years ago. House across the street from me caught on fire about 5 o'clock in the morning. And, they were there very quickly to get it contained to where it didn't spread to the neighboring houses. Because it was actually this time of year where you've got lots of leaves, it's kind of dry, and it could have been a very bad situation, but they were quick to respond, acted very professionally and quickly to get the fire under control and maintained.
Yeah. And, I've met, the Flowwood mayor, really nice lady. I definitely think she wants what's best for Flowwood for sure. And when you get on down to, say, Castle Woods and then over towards Grants Ferry, all that area, there, if you really think about it, there is quite a bit of fire department or all of the above, and also you have the Rankin County Sheriff Department too, because it is Rankin County still. So you got a lot of law enforcement for sure. And, that's always been a big plus about living there, is you have kind of a little bit of all of them there combined, especially Flowwood, Reservoir, and Rankin County Sheriff's Department. So, I feel good about that over in Rankin County personally, and I'm pretty sure you do. Just like over this way, they really keep it together over here too. So, and don't like to be negative, but we have to think about real life issues now, and there's a lot of bad ones, unfortunately.
Yes.
I don't believe in talking about gloom and doom all the time, but unfortunately,
we have to be prepared. The thing is to be prepared. Don't be caught off guard.
Right. And speaking of the Sheriff's Department and Reservoir Patrol, they work really well together. I gave both of the chiefs compliments on, Halloween night. I mean, there was Rankin County Sheriff's deputies and PRV, Reservoir Patrol, Reservoir Police. They were all over the place over there, which, makes you feel really safe, especially on a night when so many kids are out and enjoying themselves and maybe not paying attention as much as they should be.
Or right, because it only takes a second, unfortunately, sometimes for them not to pay attention. So, Kim knows she's got a child. Obviously, you have a really young child. My children are grown, but I still know and I still remember. But like I said, as our country has evolved, so has everything else. So that means all this great stuff that's happening, then unfortunately, bad stuff happens, because that's just the way it works. But in my opinion, that county and that part of that county, Rankin County, this county, because we're in it now, generally speaking, it's just a great county, man. It's the crossroads. Just like Mayor Wyndham says on one of our spots that we play on the radio here, it is the crossroads. Rankin County is the fastest growing crossroads to everything in America. Yes. Right here.
That's true. I mean, it's where they intersect. So I mean,
it's where all the interstates intersect. Right here. You can go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And so with all that going on, that's one of my favorite things about Rankin County, is how it's grown so dramatically. Because when I was young, District 2 was in the country, out in the country. Like there was a drive-in movie, because I'm older than you guys. There was a drive-in movie out there that we went to on Old Fannin, basically, and there was nothing out there, literally. Somebody asked me to give them a ride home, or one of my family members to give them a ride home. They were like, man, that's like way out in the country. but that's, that's just the way it was. It's like anywhere else, really. But those days were awesome, though. We grew up in a good place, great place. So other than that, Kim, what did you want to spark us in on a little bit?
So I'm guessing, you were saying I'm a big education person, and I am a big education person. And, my thing, I have my reasons why I feel certain ways. So, and with, Rankin County schools, I know that Pearl is in their own separate district, but
Right.
Rankin County schools, ranks, we all kind of strive to rank extremely high, which we do. And that's great. And I'm just wondering, is there anything, because I know we've got stuff coming up like school choice and, just other, initiatives that may be brought up next year in the legislature. Any kind of, thoughts or ideas on how, like, integrating anything that may come about in, let's just say, the school choice era. Anything that may be an idea, if they do implement it, that would, in my opinion, at least protect people that live there, pay taxes there, and not, because one of my issues with the school choice is that I'm nervous that it's going to overcrowd schools. And is there anything or any ideas that you plan to maybe even bring up on that note?
Yeah. So as far as the overcrowding goes, I mean, Northwest Rankin and Pisgah, which are two of the public schools
Correct.
that would, kind of fall into this. They're both, growing rapidly, busting at the seams. And Pisgah's got some wastewater issues that they've got to take care of before they can do any more expansion. So that's got to be taken care of. But far as implementing school choice and things like that, I mean, I've obviously talked with some of the legislators and stuff like that, and they've asked my opinions. But from my perspective as a supervisor, it's going to be a school board issue and a county issue, and helping trying to navigate that on what happens there and what we think is best for Rankin County. I know a lot of people are pushing school choice. Me personally, I'm not a fan of it. I don't get to vote on it. That's going to come from the legislatures. But in my opinion, if you take something bad and you don't try and improve it, you just pull out of it, well, it's going to continue to get worse. So you got to, fix things and make them better, so that everything is better and we don't create an overcrowding problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And that really, we've had people on at the same time that want school choice and that don't want school choice. Now, and believe me, they both have valid points, but it's a hot topic in this state. It's a huge topic.
And it's something new.
Right.
And it's something that, in my opinion, not saying we can't do anything new.
Right.
Sometimes I get nervous that we may go a little too far too fast.
Sure.
And be hard to kind of back up and think about it again.
And you're a mom as well.
Yes. And I mean, I want every child to be able to get a good education. Now, I think that's on the forefront of everyone's mind. But I guess in my sense, and it's kind of what you brought up a minute ago, that if there's something that's wrong with the school system, I don't think the best thing to do is to just yank kids out, because like you said, no one's going to learn a lesson from that. And I guess kind of leads into that as far as like keeping maybe good teachers that we have here now, or, maybe incentivizing, bringing on, say, because the thing I guess that surprised me, and I don't know how much of a deficit for teachers there are in Rankin County alone, but some school districts get so, needing to fill those gaps that they will take people without, the teaching degrees, the certified, actual teaching degrees, and they'll just have someone that's just in there with a degree that isn't necessarily an education, and that just worries me because it's why you go to school for education, for educating children is
we
the best.
We're told some shocking news.
Yes, that kind of surprised me. To me, if my 8th grade student is learning math, I would like them to have someone that has been taught in a higher education standpoint how to teach an 8th grade math class, in my opinion. So, and but just like maybe some incentives to actually have the better qualified teachers in these positions, because a lot of times, and I'm not saying it's all teachers, a lot of times it can be administration, but it's, to me, one of the issues is keeping and retaining them and then keeping them. Is there any maybe ideas on that, or to keep Rankin County being the best?
Yeah, I think you always want quality educators. My sister and brother-in-law are both educators. So you always want to have quality educators in the classroom that are,
sure,
educating the kids the way they should be. A lot of that is going to come down to the school board and how they do things, not necessarily from a county perspective, but I have heard a lot of the superintendents, talk about how they used to have waiting lists of teachers to come teach, and now that's not really the case. So they're having to get creative in the way to attract those strong teachers to the district in order to maintain the high education level.
Yeah, and that I totally agree. That's something that parents should, go to a board meeting, or go to an education board meeting, anyone that you can go to that's obviously open to the public, and talk about these things, and don't scream about it, just talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
So many times now everybody walks in screaming. That doesn't get anywhere usually.
No,
and
it's not helpful.
And I'm not saying that people aren't going to ever be mad, because that's life, but you don't get anywhere by just fighting about it. You get more done when you actually talk about
Discussions.
it and have debates, discussions.
Make discussions great again is what I say.
Right. Because again, different world nowadays. So, however, what Kim was talking about is, we've had people on about the school choice thing, and we know that on some level it's coming to the legislation on some level, probably in January. Now, to what level, I'm not really sure yet, because I don't even think they're sure yet.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
I don't really think they are ready yet, maybe, even though Mississippi ready. No offense out there, Leah, because we love Leah, but
yes, we do.
I just don't know if they're ready or not to bring this on. But we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see.
It's definitely going to be one of the hot topic discussions, one way or the other. But the hot topic discussion, generally speaking, is I like to know, because I've been over there today, and I like, it's coming up on Christmas season, obviously, but I like to know when you go to Flowwood, Dogwoods, but per se. And I know you're probably just on the edge of that, right?
Yeah, it's just outside of our district.
Yeah. But so any of those areas from Dogwood towards Castle Woods, it's, it's coming fast.
Oh, they're popping up.
I love to see the amount of law enforcement. I love to see the lights for women and men and families that can go shopping during Christmas season and don't have to worry about hopefully getting mugged or whatever the case may be. I love all that. And I would love it if they opened something that didn't have fried chicken from I'm just kidding.
That's a Flowwood.
I had to
pretty much
I could not
right
resist
now.
it.
No,
Chicken is just a popular item.
Because if you go on the internet, you see that every single day.
And I must admit, I like chicken. So.
You'd be amazed at how many people have asked, can we not get any more chicken joints on, we call it Chicken Alley or Chicken Strip? Or,
on Chicken Strip,
whatever over there. But that's a Flowwood situation there. And I also tell everybody else, if if something is zoned, if it's zoned for a restaurant and a
Yeah.
restaurant wants to go in, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit you can, try and direct, but you can't say, no, you can't put that restaurant there.
No.
It
I
all
know.
comes back to zoning on that aspect.
True.
I know.
And who gets there first?
I just had to bring it up because I see it like literally once a week, if not more.
Cheesecake
see 'em
Factory's
too.
coming though.
I think, what are we on, like the 18th year of that one?
At some point, right?
However long that Facebook has been around, it's going
Pretty
to be the Cheesecake Factory. It's going to be the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, it's a running meme now. So,
Oh, wow.
but I will say this: I know you have to love this. On Tuesday, we're opening up that West Rankin Parkway that is going to bridge Brandon, Flowwood, Pearl, everywhere. We're so excited, and it's literally ribbon cuttings happening at 10 o'clock on the Flowwood side of Rankin County Parkway. So, but that will open up a lot of residents around the area to be able to come to. I mean, that's why I'm so excited. I said, man, I can get to Flowwood, I can get to even Dogwood a lot faster now with that opening up. So
Yeah, and that's one of those economic development things that, it's really good that, with that parkway, it's opening up for economic development, whether it's, commercial, industrial, maybe even some residential. Haven't looked at the plans to see exactly what all they've got slated over there for that. But another thing that's good about it is it gives another roadway for traffic to get out from the area and
Correct.
disperse.
traffic being better
yeah.
later.
And that,
I'm so
At
ready.
a quicker rate.
that area grew so much so fast that, it just happened.
And that's been, you want to talk about something that's been going on a long time.
It has.
It's been going on for a couple of decades, I believe.
Yeah, I believe
So,
so. Yeah.
we're coming right on it.
But that's going to be great for me. I mean,
Yeah, it's going to be great for me.
Be a great situation for me as far as.
I'm excited. It's funny. I've always imagined right there. I've always imagined like if I could just jump really far this way, I could be over there instead of having to go this way or go way around this way or go the interstate. And it's going to be helpful. And like you said, economic development. I mean, that's a lot of land out there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of land out there. Yeah. It's high potential right there. Just right there. Yeah. I mean, it opens up a lot.
And they also, opened the one, what was that, last year or 2 years ago, that connects into Brandon right there at Highway 80 at the I-20 exit. So
that's awesome. I'm happy they did that one too.
Oh, yes.
And when I lived over in Castlewood, you can come in the back way, over. That was always, before that was really hard.
Yeah.
Because you had to go around a lot of turns off Luckney or different roads that way.
It's crazy.
But happy about all that. I know you're big in the church out there, out in Rankin County District 2. You're at what, Pine Lake?
No, I'm at Fannin.
Oh, that's right.
At Fannin Baptist Church.
Yeah. That's the one located. Which one is that one exactly?
So it's out off 471
that's
in the Fannin community, out over in that area. So me and my wife have been going there for a while, and we enjoy it out there.
Yeah. That one's out. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There's so much development in the last, we were just talking about. But yeah, I do like that about that community as well. Is very, for the most part, very well-rounded for everybody. There's something for everybody to do. And if it's not something that for you to do, for a family to do in District 2, then you're very close to something to do if it's outside of District 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything kind of backs up to it as well. And just a lot to do. And a lot of it's great, especially kids, kids. That area, speaking of Hartfield Academy, I mean, that area is blown up. I can remember
I went to UCS, University Christian School. Yeah. That's what it used to be.
Yep.
It's so crazy. I'm like,
and that wasn't even that really long ago, really, was it?
What?
That wasn't even that long ago, was it?
That it changed.
Yeah.
What, about 10 years ago?
I guess.
Probably
somewhere around 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I would think. Yes, but I mean, and I remember driving to school Number one, I remember driving. We either took the reservoir, which was a 2-lane back then. So
Oh,
imagine traffic in the mornings and the afternoons. But then if you went down Lakeland Drive when I was growing up there, probably around 98, 99, somewhere around that area, you were dodging. I mean, because they were growing on the Jackson side of Lakeland at that point, and we were, they were going from 4-lane with the little turn to the 6-lane or 8-lane, I can't remember. So I mean, and there was still not a lot of stuff, but you could tell like they're obviously about to. I remember even when Dogwood was going up, we were sitting there like, what is this going to be? We were just seeing tons of stuff going up. But I mean, it's crazy to look back at that area now that was just mostly just hills and dirt and just some grassy areas, and just before you get to Castwoods, basically. And now it's just blown up. So it needs to keep going, because there's still, I mean, it's funny. I still look and I'm like, well, you could put about 3 or 4 more things over there. So, I mean, it still seems like a place you could still grow. So,
yeah.
But just remember, it's always the right project at the right time at the right place.
Exactly. Because you don't want it the other way.
Yeah.
No, because it can go that way.
It can go the other way.
And it has gone the other way.
Yes.
And that's kind of when people have asked me about economic development. That's what I've been like, I'm for economic development if it's the right project at the right place
time.
at the right time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about timing. That's huge. And especially in that particular example, it's huge. Because I know quite a few builders, obviously, as you do, and, in Rankin County, and the projects that work, it's about the timing, right time, right spot. It's just got to hit that, how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. And that could literally be in any district.
Oh, yeah.
In any county, in any state. But in that specific area, though, it being so big, there is a lot of room for development.
There is.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't want to just run out there and start, spending money and it not work. So,
right. Well, spending money at not work, not having the correct infrastructure from a county standpoint to make sure that you can handle it. And then everybody starts getting mad. I mean, when I first moved to Rankin County, they had just finished 3-laning Old Fannin Road. And I was like, man, thank goodness I missed all this construction. Don't have to worry about it. Well, I don't think I was there, but about 2 years, and they broke ground to 5-lane it. And I was like, oh, here we go.
There's those orange barrels that I forgot about.
I got away with that.
But, everybody wants to complain about orange barrels, but really, that's a sign of progress.
It is.
It really is.
That's a sign that you're living in an area that's growing, and that, people are trying to make your quality of life better. If you see orange barrels, that means they're trying to make repairs and make things better.
Right. Be thankful.
Yeah.
Be thankful, and make sure that you have people, that are thinking of how to make your life better. So, I mean, I'm the same way. Just like, let's just see how it goes. Let's not get,
Right.
feathers ruffled and everything, but sometimes you can't.
But you can't stop things from turning and progressing.
We shouldn't stop things from progressing.
No, but I'm just saying some people want to stop it too much, and then there's other people that want to go too fast. You got to find the happy medium and the things that work.
Well, this is why we elect someone that we trust as a supervisor that's going to know how to balance that and know which direction is best. So
that's right. And which rolls us back to the beginning of the conversation about local elections are so important.
Correct.
In your backyard, because what does it do? It affects you personally. That's what it does.
Yes, it sure does.
Kim's already said it. We've said it over and over many times for years now. That, yes, of course, national elections are important. That's a no-brainer. But our culture has backed away, generally speaking, in getting out there and voting like they should, in my opinion.
Getting better. It is.
Now, they're getting better lately because of podcasts, right? I mean, just people out there pushing it, whatever it may be. But we still have to continue to remind them, look, hey, this is your duty, actually.
It is.
Go out, Vote
It
for
is.
somebody that you like, that you trust, that you think is going to be transparent, that you think is going to do better things for this district, being 2, you'll vote for them. It does not take that
Right.
long to vote.
It's free. It is your duty. It really is your duty as an American. This is our right and duty. Because if you don't let your voice be heard, and like it always disappoints me when I see voter turnout being so low, because we all need our voice heard. I may disagree or not. I don't like that you voted for this person instead of that person, whatever. But we all should be doing that. We all should be throwing in our opinion, because honestly, if you lived in a country that did not allow you to speak your voice this way, you would appreciate having this fact. So a lot of people, they just don't put that in perspective. They don't realize that because we live in a country, the way that we have it set up, that our founders set up that way, is for a reason. It's so that you take pride in that vote. I mean,
Sure.
it really used to be celebrated on vote day. I mean, it was such a big thing, and it needs to get back to that.
I totally 100% agree. Unmute yourself. Unmute
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, have a voice.
And to do that just means go vote.
Right.
Doesn't mean run to violence. It doesn't mean scream. It means take that little few minutes out of your day on December 2nd, in this case, when there's really not going to be any other thing going on that day. So
No.
it's not going to take you, I mean, no time, literally, to walk in there and vote.
Yes.
I mean, because it matters.
It does.
It does.
It really, really does.
And, it just does. And I got to hand it to you. We said it earlier, but, I've thought about running for different positions in my life, and being a musician in the past. I was already standing on street corners with flyers and begging people before we had social media to come to shows. That's just the way we did it back then, because we didn't know any other way to do it. But that's the way you do it. I mean, put yourself out there.
Correct.
Put your name out there. Put your signs out there. What's up with the orange?
I was waiting on that question.
Yeah,
So the orange was it was actually my idea. I was sitting there and I was debating it, and I was talking with Miranda, my wife, about it, and I was like, I think I want to go with an orange sign. And she's like, orange? I was like, yeah, I don't want to be red, white, and blue, And she's like, well, what about green? Because Scoggenscapes, my business, is green. Bright green trucks. And she was like, well, what about green? I was like, I think it may get lost in the trees or the grass or whatever. I said, but orange is going to stand out. And I was like, plus a lot of people, when they think about supervisor, they think of road construction.
Yep.
When you think of road construction, you talk about the orange barrels, what we were talking about earlier. So, that's why I was like, let's go with an orange sign. And it's actually worked out pretty well.
I will say that's kind of brilliant.
I like that. It's very definitely eye catching, and it's not the norm. Yeah. I really do like that. It's not the norm.
It's still got your flag on there,
obviously. And I think that's great. I think that's a great
not
design.
Obnoxious like the volunteers. But at the same time, most people, general people that have no idea anything about politics, which is the general population pretty much.
Sorry.
They think of a supervisor, they start immediately thinking of construction.
Yep.
Building things.
That's right.
Orange cones, orange barrels.
But it really does relate, which I think is great.
But it pops.
Yep.
Like you said, you could have gone with green, such as your shirt, and it would disappear in the trees.
It actually looks very beautiful with our color scheme as
well.
I do like it.
That's
personally.
Kim's color scheme. That's her creation. But yeah, it does pop though, no matter where you put it. That's why I made an orange flower today. Obviously, I'm like, wow.
I like it.
I was like, I'm going to ask him that. And I almost forgot. And it just hit me. Where'd you come on with the orange?
Because I actually was, when I was making these, curious about the orange. So I'm glad you asked that question.
I'm glad it's not the Tennessee Volunteers. That makes me feel a lot better. But I knew it wasn't, because I've been on your Facebook and I knew you're a state fan. So I'm like, what's up with the orange? But yeah, but it definitely stands out.
It does.
And especially I know I've been following Kim's probably been working, I know she's been working like in the mornings and all that. He's out there every day, every single day.
But that's how you do it. That is how you do it.
Neighborhood to
Fix to say,
neighborhood.
I know for a fact that that's not only something Daryl says, I say it as well. Like, you got to put yourself out there. You got to do it. It's like we said at the beginning, the time is now. If you want something done, you got to do it.
No, yeah, you have to.
It's going to be too late if you do it a day late, So
yeah, don't wait.
Don't
wait.
wait.
And that's for anybody out there listening. Don't wait.
Yeah.
If you're
something you want, you go out and you get it. I mean, it's like that in so many things in life. This is something definitely. If you want it, he's out there. You have a question, I would feel as if you would answer the question. So it makes it really easy.
It does, man. And you're probably right on the age of young.
Easy.
How old are you?
42.
Yeah. So he's right. Yeah, he's right on that age
Right there,
where he's
we're young.
Still. Well, I'm not young, but you guys are. I'm kind of young, but I'm definitely way older than y'all. But you still are on that level because the way of the country and the way of any country is the younger generation.
Right.
So you're still plugged in with the younger generation, and you're going to have a child growing up in the new generation.
Keeping me kind of in that,
which is the future
generation, which
right,
is better.
Right. It's the future. Just
well,
like
I mean,
our daughter.
And I always, Blake knows I bring him up almost every single time. But I mean, we have people like our friend Blake that is, still in high school. He's a senior now, but it's just, he's helping out with campaigns. He's helping out with a lot of PACs around here. But him plus others like him or influence other people their age. That's what's going to be a turning point, at least with letting people understand why this is so important. So, it is good to keep in tune and keep in touch with the younger generation so that they don't get lost and they don't feel like they don't have a voice.
Yeah. And Blake has been involved with governor's races and the presidential race, all that. And still in high school. So it's important.
Those things around his glasses.
Yeah. So speaking of that, one of the cool things from this election. So I told you I moved out here almost 20 years ago and lived off Old Fannin, and some of the kids, I call them kids because they're still kids to me. They were, 8-9 years old when I moved out there. Probably less than that, but we used to play little Nerf gun wars and stuff like that with the kids. Well, I was the first person that some of them voted for because they just turned 18.
Right.
Oh,
so nice. that was neat for those parents or those kids even to send me a picture, a selfie of them voting.
Say, hey, Mr. Phil, and you were playing Nerf football with them 20 years ago or whatever, 18 years ago. Whatever.
But that influence sticks with them.
Yeah,
it really does.
But that was one of the most, I guess, heartwarming things that I've seen from this is hopefully, I'm glad they did it for me, but hopefully they'll continue to do it in the future also and understand the important of it.
Yeah, because it's always when you first start voting at 18, you don't really care that much. But if you're plugged into something early on like that, then you will tend to be plugged in for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yes. Is it a guarantee? No, but it will be trending that way. I didn't, unfortunately, make a big deal out of it. I wish I would have, but I just didn't. Not until
it took me a few years.
Not until my 20s, really. And that's okay. It's never too late, obviously. But nowadays, though, the option for people to know about things is a lot different than it was when all three of us were young.
That's true.
So you're able to know about it, and those very kids you were talking about, like, oh, there's Mr. Phil, I'm going to vote for him. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't have all that because we just didn't. So and our signs were only going out to a lot fewer people, or our message rather.
Right.
And so it is also the other side of it. The kids that are still, fairly young and don't really understand, how government works.
Right.
For them to be like, their dad being like, hey, well, we're going to see Mr. Phil here, or whatever. He's like, we're going to see Mr. Phil. And I'm like, they think it's like somebody really important. And it's just kind of, yeah, but it's good to see the excitement that, they're taking an interest in understanding, how government works. So that's been one of the fun things. And somebody even said, and then we can vote for Mr. Phil when he runs for president. And I was like, whoa, we just want to be supervisor.
but
those kids' imaginations.
But right there, what you just said is so important, because our education has slacked for decades when it comes to civics. So them being able to have an approachable person running for something, it really doesn't matter what they're running for, but to understand the process is a better civics lesson than you'll ever learn in a book.
Right.
It really is. So that's why we always get excited when we have young guests on here. And when I have young guests on my radio show, it's like it gets me fired up because they're fired up. I went to the Charlie Kirk event. They were fired up about voting, and I'm not even talking about sides, red, blue,
voting
whatever.
In general.
They just like to vote. And that's great, because that, again, goes back to civics, and you're understanding it better through somebody else's experience. So, because the most important voters are 18 to 40 years old. That really is.
There are future leaders.
Yeah.
And ones that are still in high school and everything else.
And that goes for any position. Supervisor all the way to president, right?
Right. Just show them.
So we're going to get this wrapped up, but is there anything specific you wanted to get out there before we let everybody know one more time where they can find you and on the election stuff?
Yeah. So a couple things. I just want to give a few of my qualifications. So as I said earlier,
Absolutely.
Went to Mississippi State, got a degree in management, construction, land development. Me and my brother started Scoggenscapes almost 25 years ago. Next year will be our 25th year in business. We've grown it to a multi-million-dollar business that has over 30 employees. We just got our Alabama and Arkansas license for some projects that are going to be coming up in 26 that we're under contract to do. So I think the lessons that I've learned in growing this business from the ground up over the last 25 years has taught me numerous things that I can utilize as your next county supervisor. From managing multi-million-dollar budgets, projects, working with other big subs and stuff, just how to deal with those relationships would help me to serve you better as your county supervisor. So I would appreciate on December 2nd, please go vote Phil Schoggen for supervisor.
Man, he's got it down.
I like it. Yes.
But those are things that, people may forget about until we have a conversation like this. Oh, wow. Yeah. The supervisor, that is an important position. Well, yes, it is.
It is.
Because no position is unimportant. None.
No.
And again, that goes back to what we've been talking about. So appreciate it, Phil. Thanks for coming by, you guys. Remember, like he just said, December 2nd, but you can absentee vote tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and you can do it on Wednesday, and then you would obviously skip Thanksgiving and the day after, and then you would have until noon on Saturday, and then the actual Tuesday, December 2nd, obviously
the day
is what, 7 to 7?
7 to 7.
7 to 7. Just like all the elections at your polling location. If you don't know where that is, if you do not know where that is, please go to the Secretary of State's website and find your location.
Mm-hmm.
It is not hard.
And I was going to say too, you can also, check and see if where you live what district, what county, whatever, if you have a runoff election, because I mean, there's runoff elections for more anyways. And I'm just giving more of a broad, like, if you don't know whether or not you can vote for Mr. Phil over here, again, call. You can look up exactly the same place he just said and make sure that, again, it's your duty. If it's in your district, if you live in that area that has a runoff, please go do your duty, go do your due diligence, and go vote.
That's right. Perfectly said. And that's the way that we move forward as a country, as a state, as a county, and as a district. So
Yes.
we appreciate y'all tuning in. Phil's obviously on Facebook at Schoggen's for Supervisor. There's a group and there's a page. So I got one of them confused earlier when I was tagging, but because sometimes Facebook will make you tag the wrong one. I'm like, because it does it
I
to
think either way, it will bring you to information.
Yeah, of course.
Look for the big orange logo.
Yeah,
There you go. The big,
that's what I was doing
logo.
earlier. Look for the, because now since AI is around, that pops up all the way down, and
But that's where you can ask your questions.
But by the
There you
way,
go.
I did an AI on Phil, and all I did was type your name in, Rankin County District 2 Supervisor. It gave me 59 questions. Of course, now I didn't use them, but I mean, I'm not going to sit and use any of them because get to know
We'd be here
somebody
3
is
hours,
the first
so.
question. But I'm just saying, it's amazing how fast this
It
thing is taking.
So you can
over.
get your information, things that you have questions about,
It's
or
just
any
amazing.
contact information.
And but thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And if you're out there listening or watching, we do this. The D&K podcast is every Monday at 5 p.m. ish. Sometimes it's 5:30.
We got to get everything right.
But
You
we
want
have
to see
the
us? You wanna hear us?
fantastic producer back there,
We do.
Frank. So appreciate it, Frank, and appreciate it to City of Pearl for using the beautiful studio here. And we will see you at the polls. Wake up, because the City of Pearl, you should be out there voting for a judge on Tuesday as well.
We do have a judge runoff. So again, look up, see where you live, see if you have a runoff. I mean, that's the best thing to do. After an election, I think everybody should just make notes to just see if they have a runoff in about a week. See if you have a runoff.
Yeah.
It's the best thing to do.
Thank y'all so much. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving.
See ya.